Good afternoon. Welcome to the forecast discussion for April 15th, 2014. Of course, it's tax day, the most annoying day of the year as the IRS takes our money, and hopefully you get a nice return back. So, of course, on tax day, it's rainy and dreary and wet out there and rather cool compared to what we had about 24 hours ago, where temperatures were in the mid 70s. Temperatures throughout the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area range from the upper 50s to lower 60s over the interior and along some coastal regions, and then in the Philadelphia metropolitan area, basically in the mid 60s. You have that wind coming from the south and southeast at around 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 30 miles per hour at time. And we have the cold front approaching. You could see it in the observations right here where we have southerly winds over eastern Pennsylvania and westerly winds with temperatures just crashing over central and western Pennsylvania. We go from the 60s, 64 degrees in Reading, 34 degrees around Pittsburgh. That is a heck of a drop, a 30-degree temperature drop, and you're going to feel it tonight. And one thing is for sure with this cold air coming in is that we are going to have an impressive hard freeze with temperatures falling into the mid-20s tonight over the interior and upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. So if you have any outdoor plants, bring them in now because they're going to be severely damaged if not protected by this cold air. The good news is that this cold air will not last long, but it's still going to have some damaging influences on crops throughout the region, along with plants or any outdoor plants or anything of that nature. Between then and the cold freeze, we're going to be dealing with plenty of moderate to heavy rainfall that has already lifted through the region. We're going to take a look at that on the radar as well. Here's our surface map. You can see that cold front moving through the region. Now again, the primary low pressure system is all the way up here in the St. Lawrence River Valley, and that's where the best lifting and dynamics are located, pretty much over New England. But in the meantime, we have this cold front move through, and as it's moving through, our temperatures are crashing behind that cold front. Given the movement of this cold front right now, it should move through the region in the evening hours between 5 and 7 p.m. And then thereafter, our temperatures are going to fall steadily, and the rainfall is going to taper off at a steady rate as well. When we take a look at the radar, I mean, quite frankly, it's the worst is pretty much over at this point. We have one more batch of very heavy rainfall that is moving through the region right now. And by the time we get to about 5 p.m., we get into this area here where it's more scattered in nature. Now we have a lot of dry air building in, and what should happen here is that this cold front moves through, the temperatures crash. A lot of this is starting to be lake enhanced influenced. So by the time it reaches the Philadelphia, New York City metropolitan area, I can't rule out a couple flurries, a snow shower, yes, even a snow shower in April. Can't rule that out. I don't expect any accumulation though, as the ground is awfully warm here. I mean, we were talking about 73 degrees the day before. Even with temperatures falling into the 20s, that pavement's going to be pretty warm, and this snowfall, any that does fall, is going to be rather light and rather disorganized. So you could see a bit of accumulation, say, on some grass in the northern, I said the higher elevations, especially above 700 feet. But as you head towards the coast, no accumulations expected. Just something to kind of shock your senses as very cold air takes hold for tomorrow morning. For this evening, look for moderate to heavy rainfall, and this rainfall will be capable of producing localized flash flooding. See this yellow and oranges and reds here? These are some embedded thunderstorms within the rain shield, not severe, but capable of very heavy downpours, reduced visibility below 2 miles, in some cases below a mile, and some localized urban flooding due to the very heavy downpours. And then you have your line of thunderstorms that goes down through North Carolina and then towards the southeast, towards Florida. That is starting to rob some of the moisture transport of this heavy precipitation. And when we zoom into the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, you can see these pockets of heavier rainfall that are lifting northeast. The bulk of the heaviest rainfall appears to be focused over northeastern Pennsylvania and lifting up towards the Hudson River Valley and towards Connecticut, basically towards New England as the best dynamics lifts north and east. And in this area right here is what's going to be lifting through the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Still moderate to heavy rainfall, but not as heavy as locations further to the north, like in the Mohawk River Valley and up towards New England. On the infrared satellite picture, you can clearly see our cold front charging east One weak wave of low pressure, not the primary low pressure system, will continue to lift northeast with the cold front that is pushing east. And then behind this cold front, high pressure, and this high pressure system will be in control for the rest of the week until we get to the weekend with a threat of a few disturbances moving through. So we go from a well above normal temperature regime to a below normal temperature regime, about 20 degrees below normal. And then we're going to rebound to about near normal for this time of year, but an active weather pattern as suggested, as I've been suggesting for this spring. So for tonight, that rainfall drives through this evening, exits. Now, see this dry air here? I kind of want to zoom in on this. See that tight gradient this evening? It goes from very moist atmosphere to a very dry atmosphere. That's why I don't really expect much in the way of any type of significant snowfall. I know some people were talking about that. No threat whatsoever. You get some flurries and whatnot. Usually what happens in these scenarios, you get dry air coming in. The moisture looks more impressive. The precipitation field looks more impressive over the Ohio River Valley and over western Pennsylvania because of the lake enhancement by the Great Lakes. But by the time it moves over the Appalachian Mountains, combined with this dry air that's moving in behind the cold front, you typically end up with a less than impressive precipitation field for any of these snow showers. And by 1 a.m., you can see that clearly the precipitation rapidly falls off. You see that dry air is setting up in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. So again, as temperatures crash this evening through the 40s, into the 30s, and into the upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast and mid to upper 20s over the interior, that dry air will kill off any type of precipitation, which is why I really don't expect much in the way of any type of snowfall behind this cold front as it blows out of here. The good news is that high pressure will be in control for Wednesday, and with it being right over the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, the winds won't be that bad. So that's one great news, is that as temperatures rebound into the lower to mid 50s for highs tomorrow, it'll feel like the lower to mid 50s because winds should be relatively light. Look for some breezy conditions in the morning, early morning hours. But then by the time we get to about 8, 9 a.m., those winds will slacken off, and a high pressure right overhead in the afternoon will basically produce winds from the northwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour, which isn't too bad. High pressure will remain in control through Thursday into Friday with scattered cloud cover and temperatures pretty much rebounding to almost near normal levels. Looking for low temperatures on Thursday morning in the lower to mid 30s, high temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s. On Friday, mid to upper 30s for lows and upper 50s to lower 60s for highs. Now for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, what we'll see are these disturbances with the polar jet stream. Here's one, here's another, here's a subtropical disturbance, here's another polar disturbance and another one off the west coast. And what's going to happen is that we're going to end up in a bit of a zonal pattern where these disturbances are going to race west to east along the northern tier, which basically hits us, clips us basically. So as a result, we end up with a threat each day for some widely scattered showers. Not a washout, but just a threat of a shower every day with variable cloud cover and temperatures pretty much near normal as we get more of a Pacific influence in our weather pattern. So look for temperatures to rebound nicely into the lower to mid 40s for lows and upper 50s to lower 60s for highs for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Again, not a washout, but just a bit of a nuisance every so often with some showers and some variable cloud cover. And the good news is that by the middle of next week, I think we start to end up in a bit more of a warm pattern as we get a nice trough that is being supported by all model guidance along the west coast and should allow for a nice little southeast ridge to try to fight back here and produce some warmer conditions by the start of May. So it's not that bad. We could get through this. So, like I said, prepare for the cold blast tonight. Bring your plants in, protect them, cover them, do whatever you got to do to protect them from this cold shot of air. And then once we get past tomorrow morning, we start to improve significantly. I say you're out of the clear as far as any type of freeze potential by Friday morning. So you got tomorrow morning, and you got the next morning thereafter to protect yourself, especially over the interior locations. And then we finally break out of this cold wave that lasts about a day or two. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com NYNJP, whether on Twitter, Facebook, Google, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.